Alright, sorry for all the delays. We had some technical difficulties. May or may not have included a cat. But yeah, we are back and we are going to do an any percent race of Pray for the Gods between me and TikTak. But you might be wondering, oh, who's going to host and read out donations? Well, I have news for you. We welcome in Sunbro Jade, who is going to be our host for today. Sunbro Jade, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, it do be me.
It really do, though. It
It really do
heckin'
though.
do.
No, yeah. So I get to watch TikTak and Yusu, and I'll be reading out your donations. I'm a Shadow of the Colossus and Eco Speedrunner. Not a TLG yet, but soon.
Just hold on 2 seconds. I just need to put my old gasso back in. Hold on, would you like to work maybe? Uh-oh. There we go.
It's a
Back to
cat.
normal.
Muy bel gato.
So, and I just turn your game audio off so there's no confusion. So you're going to be hearing my game audio. We can't have two playing at once, then things are going to get hella confusing. Too confusing. So hopefully that all goes through smoothly. So, without further ado, we should be ready for the run to start. Yeah? You two ready?
Yeah.
Alright. So, the run's gonna start. I'm just gonna start the timer from when we both press start game.
Yeah.
And that's not how it's supposed to start. So, run's gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
And again, just want to let you all know, TikTak's screen is gonna have a 15-ish second difference to mine. Just because I am window capturing his game stuff. And as we're loading into the game, Jade, do you want to read out a couple donations or something?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So we have $20 from that one scruffy boy. Theo was always such a light in the server. You will be missed. And pounds. Euros?
Euros, yeah.
Euros. So we have 50 euros from TikTak. Rip Theo. Hopefully this marathon can do some good and help others suffering from strokes. Meanwhile, we get to see great runs for a good cause, and that is very true.
Heck yeah. So yeah, this is Pray for the Gods. It's definitely not Shadow of Colossus, despite what you may see very soon. It plays very differently. You can see a lot of different tech to what you would have seen on the run prior. Also one thing to note, so TikTak is actually going to be running the game on PC with an SSD, whereas I'm running it on PlayStation 4. So you know how TikTak was 15 seconds behind me starting the game, and then now he's ahead of me just because of loading times? Yeah, that unfortunately does exist, but that's totally okay. So we may, like, go back and forth, like, between the run, which is totally, like, fine. Unfortunately, my PC is not, like, good enough to, play Praey, but that's all part of the fun.
You know, at least you have the skill advantage, so I think that's gonna make it more fun, right?
80%, anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, if you saw the run of Shadow of the Colossus earlier, don't expect anything even close to that in this run. I'm still quite the newbie, but you know,
Yeah.
it's definitely a fun game to show off.
Even I'm not, like, anywhere, like, close to, like, pro level or anything, I just, like the game a lot. And got picked to run it the hotfix. So that's, yeah, it's my success story right there.
And Flame Fatales soon enough.
Yeah, Flame Fatales, yeah. I'm actually going to be doing an Echo Rush straight afterwards as well. So that's the category I'm going to be running at, Flame Fatales, which is going to be Nidorino. Oh, and blue. It has been windy though. No,
yeah,
no
same.
controller settings. What are you doing? Game, why? So
meanwhile, I'm struggling to even climb up here.
So one thing to note is we have a grapple, which we totally didn't have in Shadow Colossus, so that's going to give us a lot of three-dimensional movement options. We don't have like any like animal companion to help us move around. Like we don't have aggro or Trico or anything. So yeah, we're just going to be using this grapple.
And we just got Grapple Chan, like Stick and Nico, you know?
Ew, Grapple Chan. mommy grapple. And this is Satyr, or as I like to call him, Valosant.
Honestly, to some extent, he seems like Gaiusant to me, in some way.
Gaiusant. I mean, he has got like a giant like club as like a hand weapon. Bro, would I like to grapple onto that, please? Thank you very much. So again, we have to do this thing, lovely thing called stamina management in the run. Yes, I love it when you. So yeah, my state is going great right now. Totally didn't lose any stamina and fall off. Of course not. Yeah, the stamina management in this game is a lot trickier than the other one. And the shakes are going to be different physics-wise as well. So every time one of us is going to ring a bell, Satyr is going to shake straight away. And we have to hold on for dear life in order to try and stay on. And each bell takes 3 rings to destroy. So no matter like what like difficulty or mode you're on, it's always the same amount of bells, same amount of like stabs in a way. Go. And similar to Shadow, depending on like where on the boss you're on, they're gonna shake a different part of their body and move a different part of their body to shake you off. And sometimes we can use that to advantage, but at the moment, with this Satyr, we're not gonna be able to do that. So, TikTak looks to be on the head and almost done. And I'm still on the shoulder. I also have Sombro Jade, who's actually hosting. She's going to be doing, helping with commentary in my Flame Fatales run. Are you excited for that?
I'm so excited.
Are you ready? Are you McLearning?
I am learning a lot. Also, it seems like the hold mechanic when doing the shake, is that a hold or is that like a button mash?
Okay, so you can actually choose in the settings if you want it to be a button mash or if you want it to be a hold.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and it
it's
reset
like-
my settings, so it usually would be a hold for me as well,
Yeah.
but now it's just a mash.
You
And
chose
also-
mash?
No, I didn't choose mash, it just reset me to it for some reason.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, also I just now had a little bit of trouble loading the save. Hopefully I'll load the correct one.
And also you're gonna see like a difference, so TikTak just has to like Alt F4 to get like out of his game back in, which is gonna skip the cutscene where the death cutscene and the cutscene of us moving back to the hub world, whereas I have to literally PlayStation home button, close application, reopen the application, no SSD loading times, gang, everything's fine. I'm so happy to be running some PlayStation 4.
It seems optimal, right?
Yeah, very optimal. And luckily, as soon as you kill a boss, you automatically get an autosave. So I'm actually gonna load into this autosave right here, and it's gonna put me straight back into the game.
One thing
wait.
that definitely takes a lot of getting used to when running this game compared to something like ICO or Shadow or whatever is the grapple hook movement in it, which sometimes tends to get a lot of precision, I guess. Especially when you try to do it fast, you can't really miss a beat when grappling around, which takes quite a bit of getting used to.
So, another thing in this game as well, which differs from Shadow of Colossus, is you can choose which boss order you can kill almost all the bosses in. So bosses 2 to 7, you can just choose the order of which you're gonna defeat them in, which is very handy because you can actually decide to get the hardest ones for you out the way first. So you can kind of customize like your route to what like suits you.
Which I just realized, since I don't have splits around here, I'm going to have to keep track of that in my head, which seems terrifying to me.
Just go reverse order like I do, you'll be fine.
You expect me to know reverse order? Okay.
Just follow my lead, Kappa. Did
Yeah.
you do any full practice?
I know.
Oh god. So we're going
Well,
you're going to Thrall now, I assume, right?
Yeah, we're both going to Thrall, which is the nemesis of any kind of runner, player, anyone really.
Yeah, there's a reason why we do Thrall first, and we're gonna get to that like a little bit later. So again, it's kind of like we have this kind of hub, which is the temple, similar to the temple in Shadow. And then we have this overworld, which we're going to be traversing in, and we need to traverse it to get to each boss in a different location. Very, very similar kind of mechanics there, minus our friend Aggro the horse. But traversing in this overworld is going to be quite different because we also have a wonderful thing called wind and wind RNG, blizzards and such. So wind affects kind of, you know, how you glide in the game. So a nice kind of still snowfall like this, I should be able to glide just straight ahead perfectly fine. Whereas if the wind was blowing like me to the side, I would actually be like moving in the air like against my will. And in this area that I just flew over, there is actually like a trigger for an NPC / enemy called a Wraith. And Wraiths are like super, super annoying. Like they just, yeah, are enemies in the overworld, so you got Draga and Wraiths. And they will just attack you like mercilessly. And there's a trigger for every single one of them. And you can actually avoid that trigger in the air. But if you're too low down, the Wraith will spawn in and then like hit you. And then you're just straight up not having a good time. And I would not like to fall off a cliff. Grapple be like...
Grapple be like, nah.
Yeah, I don't want to grapple onto that. Never wanted to anyway.
We'll say
It's overrated.
so, some of your jump away from the rock to be able to get enough clearance to shoot the next portion was quite smooth looking, and I wanted to commend you for that.
Yeah. But unfortunately the game isn't like taking any prisoners when it comes to the grapple hook sometimes. Like, for example, you think you'll have a clear shot on something, and then the grapple will just be like, you know what, just, you know. I don't think you should be able to grapple onto this, so you're not gonna. And you only get the slowdown time the first time you open up the grapple in midair.
Yeah, and another thing is especially that, whoa, I'm in texture. Did I softlock myself? Are you for real? Get out of there! Escape! Come on!
Oh no.
Nice game!
Did I TikTak myself in this game already? Excuse me, sir.
Find a way out. Find a way out. Find a gap in the texture. You clearly found a gap in, now find a gap out. You can do it.
Getting sucked in, it's like a black hole.
No! Wind RNG be like...
I'm not even surprised, honestly. I'm not even surprised. Any devs in chat?
Yo, Parnell? Parnell, are you here? You may have to reset the game, buddy.
No, I'm stubborn, you know me.
Okay,
You know, I seem to be out, but I'm not actually out. Fine. That's out the 4. Starting out great. I'm sure you know.
And under this small mound, there is a tiny black hole that slowly sucks everything in, including TikTak.
Okay, wind is not on my side today, so what I tried to skip was like activating this kind of air vent, and I wanted to like get onto the air vents up there. However, the wind didn't like let me glide all the way up where I needed to be. So yeah, wind in this game is like a make or break. Like you can lose a PB just due to wind in the routing.
Is this the right autosave? Let's hope so.
You're cheating.
Yeah, looking alright, I guess.
Do
yeah.
I have time to read a donation?
Yeah, go for it.
We have 40 euros from Temp. This community is such a unique place. Theo will be missed, but his memory will live on with us. Great job, Yusu, for putting this all together.
Oh, thank you, Temp. Yeah, I know it's like, this is like a first in which we've shown a speedrun that wasn't like a gen design game as well on the main channel. But this is more of like a community like showcase and highlight. So maybe like what I would like to do is have this like as a yearly event, so maybe next year with more prep time we can actually do like a lot more work together and maybe showcase like a bunch of different runs as well from a bunch of different people. Because you all are amazing. And your talents extend far beyond just, you know, the free UAD games.
As you saw right there.
Yes.
I managed to get soft lock not only on Malice, but also on the way to Thrall. Quite topical, isn't it?
Thrall be like. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do a tactical sleep. So sleeping is gonna make my stamina regen a lot quicker, which is good for like a nice safe strat with Thrall. Because Thrall's gonna eat up my stamina like breakfast, like he's gonna be hungry. And again, using the grapple to try and traverse quicker. It's difficult to grapple onto like ground that's the same level as you. It's so much easier to grab like onto things that are higher. Because like the grapple has like an x-axis and y-axis kind of thing going on. Where you can grab further away from you if it's up higher than you. But if it's like right in front of you, for example, yeah, good luck like grappling far. Totally not gonna happen. And this is a late game mechanic with the flower seeds. Okay, got the shot. So these are like powerful like orb bomb things, and we're gonna be using them in Thrall's fight and in the actual final boss fight as well. So Thrall is actually the 7th boss, but because he's the 7th boss, he's also kind of difficult, and we want to get him out of the way. So yeah, this is actually like the late game mechanic that they wanted you to like kind of figure out as like a foreshadowing to the late game, but you know, who needs boss order?
It's actually a good thing that we can do the out of order bosses. Thrall otherwise would be even more of a pain.
Oh yeah, because imagine like you have everything up to that point going well, and then there's Thrall who just consumes
That's a
you.
thing, yeah.
And you'll probably get like a decent showcase as to why Thrall is the way he is. Like, if anyone's played this game casually and remembers a casual playthrough of the game, or you've seen someone else play it casually, you may have witnessed how frustrating Thrall can be for a first time player. Like, Thrall just takes lives and doesn't care about your feelings. And I'm gonna be coming up to Thrall's fight in just a second now.
I have not played Praey, but I watched somebody play it, and Thrall looked so scary and terrible.
Yeah, like, considering that the physics are completely different to Shadow of the Colossus as well, like, doing, like, re-grabs and, like, just even, like, sometimes jumping in the direction you want is never as simple. So there's Thrall, just over there, sleeping.
Okay, fine.
It's actually really cool that you can see, like, Thrall twitching from afar before you even have the cutscene open. So I'm in Thrall's fight right now. So Thrall's going to be launching some boulders at me, and I'm going to be avoiding them, because I don't want to be hit by boulders. That's nice. So I say he's going to be launching boulders, but... Perfect stuff, buddy. And I'm going to be trying to do a specific kind of AI minute on him as well. So if I stand in relatively the same place every single time I fight Thrall, he will always do the same movements and the same attacks. All his boulders will land in the same place, and that means I can kind of predict where he's going to go, so that means I can shoot down his armor pieces very easily. So I need a minimum of 4 shots to hit, so I can break his leg first. There we go. And once his leg's broken, I'm going to go to his drum on his back. So I'm going to go for this seed right here. So he's in his idle animation at the moment. I need to hit a very specific kind of tiny pixel hit to try and destroy both his drum and like a grapple bit. Yeah, got it. Very nice. There is a backup for that too, which luckily I don't have to show because it's kind of scary. So now he's going to do another animation throwing boulders, and once he's finished that animation, his hand will be in the right spot. Every time he finishes an attack, he's going to go into an idle animation before going into like a walk or move animation. So I've broken the wrist, and I actually have some spare ammo over. So I'm going to use a 5th shot to break the rest of his leg, so that I can be a backup for later. So now that I have full armor broken, I can kind of move over here and get ready to start actually going into fight. So I'm going to grapple onto his hand. Nice hit. Hold on to Bell. Gonna wait for him to roll. Go on, buddy.
You know, out of context, it all sounds so terrifying. Break his leg, break his armor, back.
I'm gonna jump down. There we go. If I land on the bell perfectly, I can hopefully get some cycle rings, so I don't get shaken. 1, 2, missed timing. So I didn't get a full cycle on the leg, but 2 is just good enough. I'm just gonna lower that game volume for you, my darlings. So yeah, that's actually a really hard jump to get, because Thrall can actually slap you out of midair when you're trying to glide down. So yeah, it's actually pretty good Thrall so far. So I'm gonna wait for him to steady his hand, jump back up straight away. Now what I'm also gonna do, I'm gonna wait for him to roar again. Very quick jump. There we go. So you only have like maybe a second or two to like stand upright on his hand as he's raising it, which then gives you like a bit of time to jump off his hand in the direction you want to. So I'm actually going to be safe here and wait out for his hyper beams to hit. There we go. Oh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Oh, that's Thrall for you. So I'm actually going to go down here instead as a backup. So I'm going to hit this bell in the arm first. That's actually quite a nice backup. I'm not complaining. Doing things out of order. Nice. Now I just need to find a way to get back up to his chest. Top of his back. And try and shake him off. You can cycle ring these bells or cycle stab like you can in Shadow almost, where you're doing the shaking in between, but that requires like a very specific animation to be triggered. So all I have left now is the bell on his head. So I'm going to try and lower myself down a little bit, see if I can get him to do a specific attack. There we go. I'm going to move down onto his neck thing, and I should just be able to straight away go onto his head. A lot of like good things about this game is that you can fight the bosses in a variety of different ways, both casually and in the speedrun setting. So if you fail like the speedrun, like the Isle strat for example, then there's always going to be like a backup for you. Don't hit me, don't hit me. There we go. The audio just cut out, but I'll fix that once I get Thrall done. There you go, that's quite a lot of damage, but hopefully gonna be safe here. Thrall's gonna try and shake me off. It's completely random whether Thrall will do a normal shake or like try and hit you with laser beams. So don't move, buddy. There we go. So now I have time to try and get back onto his head. Hey TikTak, how's your Thrall going?
I at least got up on him and hit with shots after a while.
Woo! And now I'm on the head sigil. And just start ringing the bell over and over. I'll just fix the audio when I get out the fight.
But yeah, I'm just happy I'm on the same fight as you after that setback.
Yeah. The fights in this game are a lot longer than the individual fights from Shadow Colossus. Whereas fights there last, like, you typically, like, under a minute. The fights here, there is no fight that lasts under a minute, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
now.
it's more like 3 to 8 minutes or so.
Yeah, the
in the
last boss
general
fight,
sense.
like the world record IL for last boss fight is just under 8 minutes. So I'm just gonna try and get my Elgato back into gear.
Oh god, why are you turning, boy?
Boy. They have Thrall down, and so I'm gonna be going to Krogon whilst TikTak is doing his thing.
No,
Oh,
no,
good
no, no.
grapple.
Okay, I'm just going to do it slowly. That little jump that you can do towards the back is a little risky sometimes.
You know what they say sometimes? Slow and steady wins the race.
Well, I definitely got the slowdown, you know?
So every time I'm going to come back to this hub world right here, it's going to change ever so slightly. So defeating each god will change the hub a little bit, so you can see there's like some glowing neon, like bioluminescent like plants and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Crap.
And again, doing the bosses in reverse order, because they put the bosses in a more difficult order, like the further on you go chronologically. And if you noticed on like the board, I guess, from where I started, the icon of the boss the game wants you to fight will light up, and there will be a light in the background over there of the boss that the game wants you to fight. But you just don't actually have to fight them. You can just go in any direction you want, and it will still be okay. Because all the bosses are spawned in, apart from the last one, which you need to defeat all of them for. So yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that like Thrall doesn't have like a trigger for Ordinary, the last boss fight, but oh well. And I'm just going past the champion arena. Champions are mini bosses in this game. And you can also like shoot me out the air, which isn't very fun.
Whoa, whoa, I got launched so much by him just now. And, crap. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, this is a very good display of the physics of this game. Being launched back by a boss will launch you sometimes what feels like miles into
Yeah, but at the same time, not like in shadow into consistent directions, but just all over the place.
Yeah. So essentially, you're going places.
Oh god, this is a big setback as well, because now I'm not quite sure how to get back there in a consistent manner.
Which sigil do you have left?
The last one on the shoulder, which I just bounced back off.
There may be like a grapple spot you can get on the back of his arm, but I don't know if it's covered in armor or not. If not, then just go from one arm to back, and then back to arm. And
I found a way.
Oh, he's doing it!
That was somewhat fancy, not gonna lie.
But yeah, like during any descent, you have a lot of like chill movement throughout the world. Whereas Echo Rush, it's just you're kind of in the boss fight, and you're in the boss fight, and you're in the boss. Really? Grapple be like?
Grapple do be like.
So with the grapple, usually, if it thinks you're too close to a surface, it won't allow you to grapple onto something. Which is kind of sus. Because if you fall down, you'd want to grapple back straight away. But obviously, you know, you go into slow mode, and slow mode means you're going to be falling a lot slower.
It was very nice of Thrall to clear the path for you, TikTak.
Yeah, that's basically kind of a casual strat way to do it. Let's hope let's start up again.
Thrall can break his own armor, which is what you kind of learn just by, like, traversing him normally in your playthrough. Like, as you're on him, you're like, oh no, he's gonna shoot me, then he shoots himself, and you're just like, oh my goodness. And it's like a light bulb moment. This is Krogon's, like, door. It's the door to, like, the bottom of his arena, or we can just go to like a different end to the cave, so we can do like a different strat and just avoid Thrall's like normal puzzle that you'd have to do. Krogon, sorry. But, ooh, keep saying the wrong boss.
I guess you can both be happy, but the Thralls went somewhat okay.
Yeah, they're no longer here now. Everything's fine.
They can't hurt you anymore.
Thrall isn't real, he can't hurt you.
Oh god. A lot of emotional damage whenever you fall.
It's kind of like the meme, like, hey mom, can I have the Shadow of the Colossus? And she's like, we already have Shadow of the Colossus at home. And the Shadow of the Colossus at home is this.
But yeah, jokes aside, it doesn't actually play like Shadow at all. The physics is just so different, and the way the grapple works out, just it has its own vibe to it. While in Shadow you can just relax during the in-between parts. Here, any kind of misgrapple you do loses time, which
if
overall...
you go into the game thinking that it's completely just like Shadow, then you're not gonna have a good time. You are gonna genuinely get angry and struggle at the controls and the physics. Like, this game, it takes lives. This game is brutal. So Krogon's just flying around, and I'm just gonna make my way to his hand and jump down on him when he comes back around. So Krogon's gonna like patiently just fly around for us. So Krogon is like Avion, but just way bigger and a little bit more terrifying. But luckily, like, if we fall off of Krogon, there's like a slight chance that we'll be able to go grapple back on a different part of his body. But also falling can be quite as punishing as like falling off of Avion.
It's also kind of cool how the devs usually have multiple ways of, like, getting the puzzle right. For example, Krogon, there's a way to shoot him down with an arrow, or do the strategy we will do by climbing up and falling onto him.
So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna wait for Krogon to fly closer to me, and then I'm gonna just drop down onto him. It's not a precise drop, and then I'm just gonna wait for him to just kind of level out. There we go. And of course, you know, taking full damage, because that's fun.
Yeah, there's a reason we play on easy instead of the other ones.
Come on. Oh, that's rough. I ran out of stamina. And now I'm getting full damage on the wing? Okay. What's going on? Hello? What? That was weird. Hello?
That was a little weird.
Do you stay on?
Somehow. So, hi, welcome to Praey for the Gods speedrunning. That was,
Did you get the ragdoll physics or something?
I don't know how to explain it other than I took damage, so I started, like, doing the limping, low health animation. And then I fell off of Krogon's wing, but Krogon started turning, and I somehow still managed to grapple onto his tail, despite dancing around Krogon for, like, half a minute.
I truly do not know how you stayed on.
Neither do I. Again, welcome to Praey for the Gods. I'll take that back up. It's still quicker than, you know, falling to...
You know, there's one little dynamic which is actually quite interesting. It feels like, you know, due to the fact that Krogon is a lot bigger, it's like, in some ways less punishing than Avion. But at the same time, you have to get to places on Krogon that are just way more scary than on Avion. It, like, kind of keeps its balance compared to Shadow.
Yeah, Krogon will have 4 bells on him that we need to destroy. So 1 on the tail, 1 on the wing, or both wings, sorry, and then 1 on the belly. Luckily, his belly actually has like a grapple point on it, so we can probably, like, hopefully drop down onto his belly and have enough stamina to just ring that bell over and over. And stamina is going to be the key issue here. So we're going to be on base stamina for the entire run. So in Shadow, every time you defeat a boss, you get a health and stamina boost. The same is not present in this game. If you want to increase your health and stamina, you have to get collectible items that are scattered throughout the frozen wastelands. And yeah, that takes like far too much time, and it's just way quicker. Well, way quicker in general, but less safe to not grab any of those. So you just run on base stats, which is the scary bit. Which is why I do prefer Echo Rush, because Echo Rush you don't run on base stats. Echo Rush you're actually a little bit like safe when it comes to, you know, health and stamina.
Oh god. I'll take that. So I basically overshot the target, but landed on the tail. Which works, I guess.
Oh, hello. Stop flapping. Bird flapping, no. And there we go, Krogon turning. So Krogon will always do the same cycles in this arena. So you can kind of track her movements fairly easily. I know the game audio is being a bit buggy right now. So I'm gonna safely traverse Crow, because I'm not quite sure what she's gonna be planning to do right here. Again, I could drop down to her wing or belly if I wanted to, but that's like quite a risky strat, especially during any percent.
Regrabs in this game are terrifying. They just don't work. If you're unlucky, you can just get flung somewhere.
Yeah. So
randomly.
regrabs, like in grabbing, you have to be facing the fur in order to regrab or grab onto something. So your camera, you constantly have to do like camera movements, especially on Krogon, if you're doing like an IL strat or whatever. And also something I didn't just do. After you ring one of Krogon's bells, you're supposed to let go and then regrab, so that you interrupt her shaking animation, and so that she doesn't think you're actually on her wing about to ring a bell anymore. So that stops the flapping cycle. Always forget to do that. So I have one more bell left after this. Yeah, my computer's like tanking a little bit because I'm running like a lot of things at once. Hey, Krogon, enough. Yeah, Krogon's such a long fight in comparison to Avion as well. Very painful.
Definitely one of the most punishing if you actually fall.
Yeah. Well, Dreki
Depending
is
on where you land, I
too.
guess.
So
I was gonna say, because the wind turbine to get you back up is pretty far.
I have very low stamina right now, so hopefully I can just ring the spell straight away and not be stuck stumbling like I am now. Oh no, I'm gonna run out of stamina and have to do like a different strat. Yeah, the belly sigil on Krogon's like not fun. Not fun.
Yeah. With the belly, the easiest way to get there is just let it go and grapple onto it, but it's also quite scary to do.
Mm-hmm.
And since I left it up to last, this is exactly what I'm going to do now. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Okay, that worked out.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Ah.
I was just about to fall and run out of stamina, so I decided to let go and
Oh no, come on.
recuperate.
Get a hold of yourself. No, not like this.
When you dangle vertically, you actually cannot like regrab or anything, you just like suffer.
Yeah. And usually it's not that bad, but since I didn't get there initially, it's a bit painful. And you only get a stamina refund after you kill the sigil.
Mm-hmm.
So, depending on the animations, this can be quite painful. Okay, done with Krogon at least.
I'm still on Krogon, so you're like a miles ahead of me.
Oh, it would be Praey if it wasn't a back and forth.
And Praey is like a really, really big. Anything can happen at any point.
Sure. The question is what I'm going to go for next. Probably Becky.
So yeah, the
And
grapple
then, yeah.
being too far away there. This is something Strat that Judge did in his IL odd record, where you just go and glide onto Krogon's belly sigil and then start ringing it.
Yeah, the ILs from Judge, aka Riku, are already on quite an insane,
Yeah.
way.
Like the ILs of this game have already reached like a pretty mad level right now, and it's only gonna get like better from there. Like the more things that are
Is this
found.
thing already on? I'm confused.
We have time for any kind of donation or anything, because we're just, messing around right now.
No donations yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But I can. 1 second.
Krogan actually trolling me. Oh my goodness.
So, since I'm a bit confused on what exactly is going on, I guess I'm going for Worm next. Because there's supposed to be a route which didn't spawn, so hopefully I didn't accidentally
What do you mean it didn't spawn?
Yeah, hopefully I didn't load the wrong save, because then it's gonna be quite awkward. But it should be always the one at the top, right?
I don't know, because I only have one autosave. I don't have multiple.
Yeah. It's a PS4 life, isn't it?
Luckily, Krogon always doing the same line cycle in this arena.
So, you both were talking about difficulties. What is the difference between the difficulties?
So there's different kinds of difficulties. So there's like easy, normal, hard, and legendary. So the difference between those is that hunger and cold will kill the player, and it adds more survival aspects. And then there's like story mode, boost mode, and survival mode, and all three of those basically also turn those elements up a notch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's the survival mechanic on top of everything else.
Yeah. So you have like a hunger meter, you have like a food meter, and then you have like a cold meter, and you actually have like a bunch of different items and stuff that you can use in games. So you can make like campfires, you can like cook meat, hunt animals, chop down trees. And you actually get like trophies and achievements for doing that as well.
And since you can also die from that and the grapple breaks and stuff, nobody actually has done a full run of any of those yet.
Yeah. So on easy mode as well, like your items never break, but on normal mode, hard mode, and legendary mode, your items will break after a certain amount of uses. Now in the game, you can repair your items, sorry. But it requires like gathering materials, which requires, kind of a little bit of farming. And like kind of drops of the materials can be kind of here and there occasionally. So that's why like running anything other than easy story, which gets rid of a lot of the survival aspects and such, is yeah, like it's a much easier entry level and just a bit more fun and less like stressful.
Oh my god. So what just happened there is what I call regrabs in Shadow versus regrabs in Praey. Oh god.
Yeah, that's a prime example of what happens if you regrab in Praey and there's a tiny bit of like movement going against you. Like the game will like push you out, essentially.
Definitely shows how I'm very rusty at this game right now.
I mean, you didn't like fall off Crow like a bunch of times, so yeah. And I'm supposed to be like the active runner of this game. So we're actually going to fight like different bosses. I'm going towards Dreki, because Dreki is another like difficult one that I want to get out of the way. And then hopefully like past Dreki and I think Yeti, then we can just relax until the last boss. And get nice and cozy. There's actually a very handy little ledge here that I can safely land on when gliding down from that height. So that means I'm not gonna slide down or die. Oh, grapple slide, nice. This run's actually come like a fair way since its release in the beta days when it came out as a kind of like a demo, I'd say. So it used to be like a bunch of like totally like messed up unpatched glitches, one of which being like a skybox glitch. So by loading up a save whilst also being in a save or something like that, you will confuse the living heck out of a game. So you know how like what we have to do now is like traverse the land and like, you know, make our way through everything, you know, with a grapple, climbing cliffs and stuff. Well, with this skybox glitch in the beta version, you spawn very high up in the sky, and with the sailcloth, you just glide and then fall down to where you need to be. And because of like the rays of light that appear, like telling you which boss order to go in, you just go in that boss order and follow the rays of light and just drop down on top of them. And yeah, you just drop on to every boss. That's game lore. Also, Dreki is just cool as heck. Worm's not really, like, interesting, so the one TikTak's on is Devourer, also known as Worm. And yeah, he's just a dude who's just there. A dude
Just flopping around a little.
Yeah.
He just wiggles a bit. So we have another donation. We have 20 euros from Zelcade. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zel.
Who just sent a little heart.
Aww. Mood.
His mood.
And I see hearts in chat also. Vibe. So this is Dreki. He's really cool looking. And the fastest way to get into him is just a free fall. And Dreki, like the other bosses, gonna like try and attack you. And Dreki has fireball projectiles. Now Krogon actually has fireball projectiles too. However, because we were in the air, he didn't really shoot them at us because I didn't quite hit the trigger to get hit with fire. Which is cool. So what I'm gonna do is activate these switches to turn on an air vent mechanism. I said turn on an air vent mechanism. There we go. They're all ice. So ice in this game you can't grapple onto, and like ice is in real life, it's very heckin' slippy.
So visually, it looks like the main character, which I don't know. Is the main character named?
She has a name in the game, but I don't know what it is, and I can't tell you what it is.
Isn't it even like a little Easter egg where the devs challenge you to find it out or something?
I'm not too sure. If we just add the devs. Yo, Parnell!
Maybe I imagined something like that, but I've heard something along those lines. I'm not sure.
But anyways, does controlling the main does controlling your character look as slippery as it seems when you're on the gods?
Oh, it's worse.
Oh, it's worse. Okay.
It's worse, yeah. So it do be heckin' slippy, especially like depending on like what part of the texture you're on as well. So on the fur it's not too bad, but you have to have the camera facing the fur, and obviously the way the re-grab works, you don't always grab onto like what you intend to. Nice jump on Drex. Good boy, good boy. That's a near perfect jump, I'll take that. You can actually like land onto Dreki's skull during that, and you just kind of slide onto him like, hey, I'm sorry about that. And this fight is like very 3D, so Dreki actually has a bunch of grapple points on his body. So in the IL, for example, you let go and just re-grab onto his body to get down there as quick as possible. But if you miss the grapple, like I've been missing the grapple quite a lot during this run, which is a complete, you know, possibility, then you will fall to the ground and then you'll have to like, you know, get back onto the air vent, wait for Dreki to get into his right animation again, and yeah, it's a lot of like time consuming waste, and there's no like real backup, I guess I want to say, like at least in Shadow, like you saw earlier, when TikTak fell off guys, for example, he was able to launch the waste and just kill the waste sigil. That doesn't exist so much in this game. Like, if you fall, then you have to, like, go from square one again.
Also, imagine if there was a retry button or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of Echo Rush.
Yeah, an Echo Rush, but it's basically boss rush. You don't actually have a retry button. You have to manually exit and re-enter each boss, which takes up a lot of time. So if you like fail a boss and you want to retry to save time, it's not actually saving time because you have to go through 2 loading screens to get out of boss rush and back into it.
So meanwhile, I got to Dreki after struggling a bit with Worm. It's basically like Phalix's edgy cousin, if you want him to be.
A war veteran.
Yeah, for sure.
He's seen some stuff, man. Dreki's seen a lot of things. So, and every time Dreki roars, it's gonna shake his entire body. And I also have to try and ping these mechanisms to release the sigil and like unhide them, but obviously with Dreki moving up and down throughout the air, you have the wind sliding about, he's rolling about and roaring, and yeah, it's just not fun for anyone. Hold, Dreki, hold!
I got hit by a projectile right in the face just now. That was interesting.
Hold, Dreki. This is just a warm-up. Yeah, Dreki is like shakes are really bad, especially because now he's in essentially rage mode. So when you like kill off 2 bell sigils, he'll go into what's known as like his rage mode, where he shakes a lot more frequently than he does before. And Dreki will shake completely randomly of his own intuition. It's like really not cool. Like if you just see him on my screen, he's rolling, rolling, and rolling like an unfathomable amount. There we go. Now I need to get to Dreki's tail. So it's a lot easier in Echo Rush when you're on like an NG Plus file, because you know, oh, almost fell off. Then at least you have enough stamina to kind of, you know, be able to like grapple and re-grab and grapple and re-grab. Whereas because I have base stamina, it's very dangerous for me to like try like any like strat too advanced. So unfortunately we do have to just hopefully be able to just run across to his tail and be able to like hit and land. So I can actually avoid being shaken off during a roll by rolling with his roll. So I'm gonna very carefully just roll along with it. Grab onto the tail, and there we go. Should have enough stamina. There we go, on the tip. But then depending on the amount of shakes he's deciding to do, will depend how much stamina I'll actually have. Like, you can have more than enough stamina to kill off the tail sigil. However, if Dreki wants to shake you off, he'll shake again and again and again, and you won't be able to get like a hit in.
That just seems mean.
Yes, he is very mean. He is a big mean boy. It's such a shame because he's so cool looking, but the fight is so like finicky. Like, you can see my camera just like, it's just going absolutely wild. I'm already on like half stamina, almost.
I guess that's the unfortunate thing of him being friend-shaped, is that he is sphere-shaped, so it's smooth corners, slip off, die.
Very much a danger noodle. Big boy. There we go. I'll Alt F4 out my way. And go back into the game.
Nice, GG.
Woo. That took a long time. An unusual amount of time, so hopefully TikTak gets a little bit better when it comes to getting the bell rings.
I mean, I too cycled Worm, so you should have an edge there.
Right, I am going to be going to Yeti next, who is boss number 5. Dreki's actually boss number 4. There we go, load up game.
Yeah, but it makes sense to do Dreki first, just because of the flying nature of it.
Yeah, anything that's in the air is like a massive, like, yikes. I think I remember a time when, like, TikTak, who is the world record holder for any percent, used to do, like, Dreki first or Dreki second. Just because, you know, Dreki being in the air, it's a massive pain in the butt if you fall off. Also, after we defeat 6 bosses collectively, we have to pet the doggo. The most important part of the run.
Must pet. No question. There's no way around it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like, if you don't pet the dog, then your run's like cursed forever. It costs you like 30 seconds for a pet or something, but like it's so worth it in the long run. Hello, I would like to grapple.
The morale boost that counts for sure.
I totally forgot you could like go this way as well. So you can go this way for Worm, Dreki, and Yeti. It's just like hardwired like into my skull that you have to like go the normal way. So yeah, going into like an autopilot in this game is actually like it's not on the menu. You're not really supposed to like be able to climb up here, but since everything you can grapple onto, you kind of can. Oh. You can glide back down. So I take a little bit of a different path for Yeti, because Yeti's just a bit past Dreki's arena. And yeah, if you like get lost on Shadow Colossus sometimes, it's a lot easier to get lost in Praey, because getting like used to like the map when a lot of the textures and rock faces look the same, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
Like, which snowy bit do I want to go to?
Yeah. Which is the correct rock I need to grapple onto? Oh no, I grabbed the wrong rock. That's like a 5-second time loss. Oh no. You get what I mean. This is why like any percent is kind of like a pain to run because of all like the traveling involved. Especially when it comes to like wind, for example. So the wind's blowing like alright in my favor. Okay. Okay. So wind's in my favor right now, so if the wind was blowing against me, I wouldn't have been able to like make it that far on my glide. And I don't exactly know how like wind physics are actually programmed into the game. Only the devs know. Like blizzards are like random like in-game events that just happen. And I don't want them to happen. So TikTak, how's your Dreki coming along?
Okay. I mean, I didn't fall yet, so should be good.
Let's go.
I'm on the tail right now, so hopefully I didn't miss any sigils or whatever.
The wind's kind of not with me right now, so I might get a Wraith trigger, hopefully not. There we go, just avoided the Wraith trigger. There is a Wraith that spawns in this area, and it has a very wide radius of trigger, so if you have really bad wind RNG, the Wraith is going to follow you. And so, like, enemies in this game, like the small ones, like, you know, they have the trigger radius, and once you trigger them, they have a different radius for, like, how far you need to run away. to get away from them and make them despawn. With like Drago, it's like a fairly small circle. But with Wraiths, they can follow you and just, they're so much quicker, so they can just keep on your back and keep attacking you. And sometimes, like, if you hit them, then you may as well kiss goodbye to your run, especially if you're on, like, low health from taking full damage. Yeah, not fun. So I'm actually coming into Yeti right now. So I'm going to be hugging this wall a little bit to do a specific little AI minute. So Dreki's fairly, or Yetis, or they all end in I, getting heckin' confused. I'm gonna run up this wall. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Hopefully I AI minute him so we can do a specific attack. There we go. This game at this point as well also assumes that I have a bow and arrow, which I do not actually have. So the intended way to do Yeti is that when he's about to attack you, his eyes will glow like yellow-orange, and then you can shoot the eye with an arrow, and then Dreki falls to the ground so you're able to climb up onto him and, you know, ring the bells. But, you know, I can just get on him this way instead. But that means, like, if I am unable to, like, jump onto him or I fall off, that means, you know, I'm gonna have a bit worse of a time trying to get back on. To the point where sometimes it's worth, like, a death or, like, a complete reset. Luckily I'm on max stamina here. And Yeti shakes are pretty vigorous too. Not quite as bad as like Barber or Argus, but they can be like pretty brutal.
To be fair, Barber and Argus don't one-shot you if they slap you.
Yeah. So you saw the animation that Yeti just did on my screen. That's a one-shot even in easy mode. So if you're underneath like his hand as he does that, you'll be squished and say goodbye to your run.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I found out
The only way
casually.
the only way to interrupt it is by stabbing the sigil as well, so there's no way around it.
And like if you don't make it to the sigil in time and he's got his hand over you, you literally like you either have to do like a tiny little tap bell ring, which doesn't count for an entire, you know, ring. That might make him shake in pain, but sometimes you just have to like grapple off or something and hope that he doesn't actually hit you on your way out. Shake. If they don't fall off. It's completely random how you fall in this game when a boss shakes you. So if this was Shadow, I could let go and re-grab so that I'd be lower down on his arm. But however, because this is Praey, if he was shaking and I let go, I would have been flung somewhere I wouldn't want to be flung. That's like one of like the many differences between the two. So far the fight's going very smoothly.
Yeah, the physics differences seem so much different in between the two games.
Yeah. And always like something I like to say as well when running this game or playing this game. 3 people made this over the course of 7 or 8 years. So literally a dev team of 3 people made a Kickstarter to make this game. They hit their goal and beyond. And it's very rare for games of this scale to kind of come out, especially by such tiny like indie teams. If you think about like, I don't know, Beyond the Forbidden Lands, for example, which has had like more people on it, you know, no, not need to cause offense, but like this game like managed to come.
Oh, I got squished. What the
You
hell?
got squished. No.
I just got squished. I thought I did it correctly, but I guess I didn't.
Oh.
Where do I respawn even? Okay, the respawn isn't too
Okay,
bad.
the reason for that is during Yeti's like attack animations, this would be easier to describe with a diagram, but unfortunately I don't have a diagram on me. So during certain animations of Yeti, parts of his body will become like automatic like damage points. Like if you're near that area, you'll be damaged. and because his hand is like a damage point, if you're too close to like his claws during like any attack that he does, even if you're not actually actively getting punched, like you
Oh
were just
god.
now, yeah,
I'm
you will.
suffering so much. Why am I so bad at this? Oh god. Yeah. Because we had a setup to do this correctly, and
Yeah,
somehow I messed it up both times.
you hug that left wall for 3 seconds, or 2 to 3 seconds during the start of the fight, and then you go straight forward towards the middle of the statue.
Wait, it's not the right wall?
Wait, it's the right wall, sorry, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Something
You
I
got
just
that.
gotta practice. It's fine.
So now that I have Yeti down, I can just go ahead and fight the auto-scroller bosses. So that being Boar and Worm, who are like the second and third boss. Worm, TikTak already defeated, and Boar we both have left. So I'm gonna do Boar first, because Boar is still pretty terrible. Like, things can go wrong on Boar for like no apparent reason, just because the physics said so. So I'm gonna be doing a nice shorter journey. Also, like, the bosses later on in the game that we've already defeated, they're also like further away than the ones we're gonna go to next. Grapple be like, damn.
Oh god. Don't you dare. Okay, I saved it. Oof.
Whew.
Yeah, like, when Yeti wants to slap you down is like genuinely terrifying from like a runner's perspective. Because like, you could go to like jump back and get onto that grapple point, but sometimes like you can't quite stand up like straight and then like safely jump off and grapple, and sometimes his hand can just like catch you. That's a Wraith behind me. I just hit the trigger somehow. That's not fun. Yeah, the Wraith's gonna follow me down here. Hopefully I can escape. Thanks, Wind. Yeah, also Wind RNG.
Shoutouts to Wind.
Yeah, Wind RNG literally pushing me against that wall there. Very unfortunate. Actually, like, triggering the Wraith there. I don't know how I did that. I thought I avoided the trigger. That's concerning. I'm scared. Also, fun fact, this door that I'm under, you can be squished by it. You can be heckin' squished by it.
Oh, I know all about that door. I did that multiple occasions.
Yeah, I did it on my casual playthrough just to be like, huh, I wonder what happens if, you know, I stand underneath this. And then, yeah, I died.
For me, it was even worse. I already knew it could squish you, but was too greedy with, you know, standing on the trigger and just squished myself over and over again.
And sometimes as well, you forget, like, the grapple's even a thing. So, like, you'll just run to places rather than grapple, and it's just like, wait, no, it's faster if I do it this way.
Righty, done with Yeti.
It's just like Boar's puzzle to get into his arena. I'm just gonna jump off and make my way downtown. Uh-oh, grapple be like... Uh-oh, grapple be like... Hello?
Oh no.
I can just run in, it's fine. Oh, that was like a bit scary.
Oh, I'm going to pet the doggo now. Everyone look.
Doggo, doggo.
There he is. What a good boy.
Oh, what a good doggo. What a heckin' good bean. Oh, cuddle the doggo.
Right. I
Press
think
1
it's...
if you love doggos.
Also, the fact that I did Worm out of order actually makes this an interesting dynamic, where you're kind of ahead, but
I mean,
you
I'm
don't
not
even really
ahead,
know.
because I've still got, you know...
Well,
two
it's
bosses left,
uncertain.
you've got one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it depends on how well I do on that boss, you know? Maybe I get myself soft locked in the floor again.
Maybe stand under the gate and get knocked off.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. Pray for gate RNG. The scariest thing in this game are definitely doors, wind, and grappling things.
Oh, ball trod on me? Are you kidding? So another instant death in this game, even on easy mode, just like Yeti's hand, the underside of Boar's feet, including a little bit above that, is just an instant death if you touch it. So unfortunately, having bounced off of it in a game thought, hey, you just died, Lamau. And it sends you to, like, the entrance of the cave as well, not, like, the start of Boar's fight, just super unfortunate. Why does this always happen in my aim set runs? I'm questioning.
You get bored.
This is just, like, pray for the gods. Like, it's just pain. Like, lots of it.
But you know, it's a fun, challenging run, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice game if you can, you know, if you go into it with the right mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just adjusting, like, your, like, viewpoint on it. Like, don't play it like Shadow. Don't play it like an actual UAD game. You have to play it like the game it actually is. Like, it doesn't play like any other game I've played before. And that's, like, part of the learning process, I guess.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, the way it plays is quite unique, with the glider actually having a use as opposed to Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
It's also grapple being quite dynamic if you use it well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one big recommendation is Riku, aka Judge Magister, released his Echo Rush, like, quite recently, and there you can actually see all the crazy strats you can do with the grappling and the cloth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite amazing to look at.
So one on wall. So I can run up this hoof, get onto the fur. There we go. That's what I intended to do the first time, but unfortunately getting like shaken or like knocked over during any of the animation of ball getting up will make you miss timing to be able to run up his leg like this. So that means I can get 2 cycles on this. Ball's going to shake. I'll get 1 more. And he should also walk me toward where I need to be.
For a second, Steam told me it wasn't able to sync saves, which is quite concerning.
Uh-oh.
Oh god.
Your computer just does not want you to play Praey.
Yeah, no, today it's rebelling in every way, shape, or form. You know, which is why streaming with a capture card once you have it set up is actually easier.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways.
I actually wonder, like, what the loading difference actually is between, like, PC and console now.
I mean, it depends on the kind of SSD, but it definitely feels like a lot.
Yeah, it feels like more than, like, what I thought it was. So I'll have to, like, probably get one of the mods to, like, time it or whatever.
You know, just gotta annoy the devs enough until they actually implement useful IGT.
Yeah, so this game has IGT, but the IGT doesn't work in the same way Shadow does. So it's not your total time in the game in that save overall. It's total time just, you know, it doesn't count deaths, for example, and stuff like that. We don't actually know how the IGT works. So it's, you just cannot use IGT to calculate your run, which is super unfortunate.
Oh, so do they have separate boards for like PC and PS4 and stuff like that?
No, not at this current point in time, because I am the only console runner, and currently, like, there's not been any kind of research done on the boards. But in this race, it's kind of like, huh, yes, there is like quite a time difference, to be fair. So depending on like what the difference actually is, will depend, maybe change like the way something's done. Ball's going to rage mode, I'm crashed in the wall. That's not good. Okay, I haven't been yeeted into a wall. So the way Boar turns can be kind of random sometimes, and if he turns too close to the wall as he enters that rage mode cutscene, no matter what, he will always knock you off his shoulder, which
Oh
very
god.
much sucks.
I tried to do a fancy thing, but forgot the head isn't accessible until you do that other thing.
So yeah, the reason why we do Boar's head sigil last is because there's usually a dome on Boar's head that you have to crack after he bashes the wall 3 times, and breaking that dome is actually what makes him go into rage mode. Now I didn't even realise that Boar had a dome on his head until Judd pointed out, and I'm just like, I went through my entire casual playthrough not knowing that?
Yeah, me neither, as you just saw. I kind of forgot about it.
Crap will be like. We go. So I can do that movement as Boar's getting up in order to try and get back onto his head. Whilst usually Boar is like kind of programmed in a way that he doesn't come close to those walls for you to be able to like go back onto his head. So doing his get up animation is actually like best. There we go, Boar's down for me. So yeah, Boar's like very much an auto-scroller boss. There's no way to kind of skip any phases to get on him faster. You have to do it like the intended way and just kind of optimize your movement in that regard.
You know, the way you can fall off during this cutscene reminds me a lot of Pelagia HTA, where you don't have control over it. It's painful.
Mm-hmm. Also, letting go of Boar at any given point during the fight, which you have to do to like let go of the sigils and go back to where you need to be. If Boar at any point decides to do a sharp turn and trample you, you have to start the fight like all over again. So I've got one and the last boss left.
I do have a donation if there is time to read it.
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay, we have 20 euros from Pass the Nachos. This game looks so much fun. I've had it on my radar for a bit when it came out. Now it will definitely have to go on my playlist.
Ooh. Thank you so much for that donation, Nachos. This game is definitely like fun. Also, like knowing that you're supporting like indie devs as well, who like actually like delivered on their promise of like this game. You know, I think on that alone is like worth like buying. I do believe it's, if you're like me from the UK, it's £25, and I think if you're from the US, it's $30 or $29.99. Totally did not look that up for reference.
Definitely not.
Definitely not, no.
With the exchange rate recently, it might actually be, you know, applied differently soon enough.
So sometimes the game also goes on sale. So it was on sale at the end of June. So I don't know if the devs will plan to have like a special sale at some point, especially as the game's getting a little bit of traction from being on GDQ. So, you know, as a business move, I'm just saying the game could go on sale soon.
So you definitely deserve a sponsorship.
Oh yeah, sponsor me, like, use code USU to get 10% off your Praey for the Gods purchase. I don't know how that will work, but yeah, go with that. How do you even get, like, sponsorships? Because some, like, sponsorships are super weird, like, imagine being sponsored by, like, Taco Bell. How cool would that be?
You know, if you have enough of a reach, at some point they will start contacting you, I assume. Otherwise, just write an email and be annoying or something.
Taco Bell marketing team, yo, I am fast at video games, give me free tacos. And
Taco Bell, please. Yo, boy. You feeling alright?
Four's just, you know, resting, having a nap.
Okay,
Four
let's
nappies.
do
4 nappies.
Tactical nap.
Tactical sleep.
Alright. And that's you done with war. Going into the last boss, I think, if I did the saves correctly. Unable to save. Come on. Don't you do me like that, Steve? So I hope you didn't forget to pet the doggo.
I did pet the doggo.
Awesome.
You gotta pet the doggo.
Yeah, I
If it
also
was a
did.
world record pace or something, then it'd just be like, yeah, the doggo can probably wait. To regain some stamina on here.
I don't think I did. I think I will run the game for more in a bit.
I'm gonna play it safe with Worm and travel up him.
So, meanwhile, I guess I can go into the run of the last one. Once you enter the last boss, it's basically like everything changes. It's apocalypse time, everything is burning. Giants are around here, and Big Owl in the sky is just throwing darts at you.
So, like, his real name is Aldenari, but we collectively call him Big Owl.
I mean, he definitely has that vibe.
Yeah, once you see him, you're just like, yeah, that's a Big Owl.
Just a dude floating.
He really do be floating, though. He really do.
And basically, the idea of this puzzle is you have to first fight these 3 giants with seeds. And once you destroy those, cutscenes trigger, and you can go to the next giant. But here's where the cool little strat comes in that I found personally by accident in my casual playthrough. There's a clip of me just saying, wait, is this a skip? Did I find a skip? Sequence break? So usually you would go back there and fight the second giant. But how about we just go back to the baby? You know, all 2001, all 2001 A Space Odyssey in here. And, you know, just stand somewhere around this area. Because the whole thing is, the second giant is already targeting you. And the fact that he's targeting can also mean he can shoot himself in a way. So, if everything goes alright, usually if you stay here around for a bit, look at Big Baby. You know, just chillin'. With a bit of luck, hopefully. Any minute now.
Any minute now.
The giant just kills himself.
Yeah, like... So the giants will attack you no matter where you are on the map. They will always have this like auto lock onto you. And so if you stand in a specific spot, especially for that second giant, it will just destroy itself. Which I am not going to complain about. Because the second giant is by far the worst giant to fight. And that development, like that consistent Fire Giant 2 skip has only come about like very recently. And it was Fuzzles who like helped with the finalized setup.
Yeah, basically it was just a clip of me doing this, and Fuzzles actually found the setup that we use right now, which is consistent and all.
Because
now,
like, there was a lot of struggle to find out like how and why, where do you have to stand, and then Fuzzles was just like, yeah, you just stand here, bro, it's all good. Which is
even funnier that I found it completely by accident, like that.
But then again, a lot of things can be found by accident, like, for example, like, when I was doing, like, an Aldenari, I remember TikTak just kind of got an idea one day, just from watching me, like, activate an air vent early, and he was like, oh, I wonder, you know, what will happen, like, how far up can I get with this air vent, you know? And turns out we have, like, another skip in the Aldenari fight, using, like, trigger, like, an air vent early, actually.
Which I will do in just a bit after this giant fight. If I at least don't miss the seed shots, which are quite precise and annoying at times, since the giant also sometimes just, you know, turns away.
Yeah, the giants usually have like an attack pattern of shoot, idle animation, shoot, idle animation. The first and second ones will actually punch the floor as well, which wastes a lot of time. Because when they punch the floor, they move their entire body, so you can't quite aim when you need where you need to.
Yeah, and the hitbox of those is so big, it's quite terrifying, not gonna lie. So, third giant down. And now comes that little bit where we skip another big part of climbing. The idea here is to go up there and trigger a bunch of like those lava things to, you know, become solid. Meanwhile, I struggle a lot with grapple hook mechanics. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, it's like very difficult.
You know, even though it's a solid rock, you just slide down here like crazy.
Yeah, on these
Maybe
smoke slopes especially, like being able to grapple is unnecessarily like very difficult. Like you think you're standing up, but then the ground will shake a little bit just from the sheer amount of stuff going on. That's you'll just slide off, and then you can't quite re-grapple where you were. You have to grapple at a different point, which is often lower than what it did before.
So, and what Uso was talking about was once you get onto that route there, you trigger the vents to spawn any moment now. Here it is. And that vent basically allows you to skip a bunch of climbing. Because usually those vents are kind of a backup for the whole big owl fight. But if you trigger them like that early, you are basically allowed to glide up like that and skip a big bunch of the puzzle. Which is quite convenient to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Considering we skipped climbing up the entire first giant, we skipped fighting the entire second giant, and we pretty much skipped climbing up most of the third giant, which takes a lot of time, especially if you slip, and then it's just a pain in the
Oh god. Oh god. The only thing about this whole thing is that due to the projectiles being a bit random, it tends to happen that you just get shot down just like that at times, which is painful as hell. Oh, come on. Not like this. Ah, thank god there's an air vent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the air vent comes in like super duper handy.
Let's try this again. And you know what, even if that looks painful, the fight used to be a lot worse. There used to be strats where you would like go to the second giant and from a different way and fight that one, and the second giant is by far the worst to fight. Yeah. So thank god you found the skip on that one. But yeah, once I am up there I trigger the owl fight itself, unless I suffer. Should be good.
And I'm actually going to be using a different air vent on my screen to what TikTak used, to try and get from the giant from a different angle, from like a higher angle.
Yeah, it's basically two different ways to do. Judge used that way. So that's what I learned, I guess.
Here we go.
And now it's about getting onto Owl, which is basically like waiting for him to move around this corner. Like about halfway is what I usually look for. And okay, that timing felt very off. Okay, let's see if I can save this. Because the big issue is, even though you can grapple on top of pretty much everything here on Owl, the way the stamina management tends to go by and stuff makes this quite tricky. Okay, at least I got that one. That's helpful. Oh no, did I grapple too early? Not like this. Ah! God damn it.
Missed the shot, but that's okay.
Yeah, another thing with the grapple mechanic is, if you are too close to the target of the grapple just won't work, even though it looks like a perfectly fine angle. So that's what's happening.
Why did that despawn? Sometimes these shots also despawn, which is not nice at all.
Okay, where is he?
I just want him to
Ah,
finish
there
shot.
he is, okay.
A shot on him.
Surely he'd come He will come by eventually. Oh, now I'm low on health.
Yeah, we also don't pick up any health restoratives in any percent as well. So if we like lose like any health, we just have to hope, especially in this fight where it actually kind of matters the most. Your health will regen a little bit so that you're not in like a critical state, but it never regens, you know, enough. So if you do take like a decent chunk of full damage, you will die. But luckily in this fight, you have a checkpoint after defeating every giant.
Oh, come on.
Aldo.
Okay. You know what, I'll take that.
So, what I'm doing is activating some triggers to advance the fight a bit more. So that's going to make an air vent spawn.
Where am I?
Air vents
Oh
are going
my
to pop
God.
up all over the place, but I'm going to be using this one down here. So I want to be on the floor with full stamina. Be right here. And this one's quite a bit more precise than TikTak's way of doing it, so yeah, I can get it just fine. We get the apex, there we go. Go straight forward. Luckily there's no like wind RNG during this fight, or this part of the fight rather. There we go. If I go on the chain, then I won't take chip damage from magma. But the chain also I shouldn't be standing on, so the game's gonna try and like throw me off and slide me off. So if I stand in very specific points on this chain, it will let me stand up. I'll be able to hit this from a distance. And hopefully Aldo's shots are going to be hitting me. Not all going to be hitting me, sorry. There you go. Hit this one. So I only have to hit 4, I think, mechanisms to complete the puzzle. Which is better than like the god knows how many you actually have to do intended. There we go, activating Alpha Fight now. Aldo works very similar to Dreki, like mechanic-wise.
With the difference that a lot more stuff is grappleable.
And a
But
lot more
like...
slippy as well. So all the other bosses, they have, you know, fur that you can grapple onto, and fur is like also easy to stand on. Whereas, yeah, grappling onto rock and standing on rock is nowhere near as easy as it should be.
But at least with the fact that you can basically grapple onto almost everything here makes it easier to get backups going. Theo is actually quite insane with that because it lets go and jumps and re-grabs pretty much every single moment.
Jump. Re-grab. There we go. Unfortunately, taking risky like jumps and grapples like that is like way faster than just having to scoot your way over.
Yeah, I assume it's just a thing with the development of game strategies, where it's going to become more and more common, but as of right now still feels very scary until you get proper setups for it.
Yeah, and one cool thing with Aldo, as he's like spinning, if he does a slow spin and not a fast spin, you can actually like stand up for a good couple seconds, which regains your stamina. So after you ring a bell, he does a fast spin, but to normally just get you off, he'll do a slow spin. So if you just let go and re-grab at a certain time, you should be safe, but that will only work if you're, you know, on him at the right time. And you can always tell when he's going to, you know, spin, because it'll give you an audio cue.
Alright. Meanwhile, I'm up to the second to last sigil here.
Oh, buffering.
Which will spawn a very specific thing.
Oh, ow, ow, ow. It's alright, bud. It's alright, bud. Yeah, getting like shaken by owls is so scary. Like so
And
big.
here comes our friend, the doggo,
Doggo.
helping us through the last bit. Also, it looks like my stream seems to be quite laggy with the way the PC has been treating me today. That's only to be expected. But yeah, the doggo with the shoes basically will help me to get to the last weak point.
Yeah, Doggo's wearing like lava-proof shoes, so you know he's fine. He's completely fine. He's prepared.
Yeah, what a smart boy! And look, just holding on with his bike like that.
Bro, can you like not fall off? Man, I almost fell off twice. That's horrible. There we go. Spinning round.
Alright. And that kills off Aldenari for me. Which is just one more cutscene reset going into the last of the section of the game. Which is basically triggering the credits.
And another bell ring. There's still 2 full bells to go. So you skip Big Owl's cutscene, and then you just ring the final bell because that's like the final input. Similar how to like in Shadow, like moving is like dormant and like jumping into pools is final input.
Yep, here it is just, you know, ringing the final bell and cleansing the world or something along those lines.
Ending Ragnarok, I'm not quite sure.
It has a lot of those second season Korra vibes to it, honestly.
It really does.
I only watched like the first season of Legend of Korra and I was like, I'll just watch like retrospectives and stuff to see what I missed, and then I was like, I prefer The Last Airbender.
I mean, that's a great series, I personally enjoyed it. But I get how it's not for everyone. Since it is quite a different mood compared to the
they're
original.
wrong to dislike it.
And time for me.
So that's a 1:36:09.
Sounds about right.
Nice.
If I didn't get the Praey thing, could have been PB, but I'm sure I can improve that
If you
one
didn't get
eventually.
fooled. And I got still.
It wasn't even fraud, it was like, you know, TikTak for real.
Now the question is, if I was running on the game on PC, would I have beaten you or would I have not beaten you?
It might very well be the case. It's quite close. I'm sure it's a couple minutes. I'm just not sure if it would be quite that big of a difference.
Because it's not only like it's loading into the game as well as, you know, after every boss fight. Yeah, it's a lot of like loading screens you gotta go through. And then again, like separating the leaderboards would make me like alone on the PS4 boards, which is like.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth it yet, especially with future development. Maybe there will be an IGT that's usable at some point.
Exactly. And it's a lot more like fun when you have like competition in a speed game, I think. Because then you have like some back and forth and like other people to like kind of motivate you to do better. Because like Josh just like blew my Echo Rush out the water, and now I can like watch his video when I have spare time.
Yeah, especially with Echo Rush, I don't think it would be even that big of a difference, right? Because you don't have to load out as much.
Yeah. You can just watch the death cutscenes and relax.
But yeah, it was a very close race, and I'm surprised at myself at, you know, the few things that I watched, and especially your guide on GDQ hotfix, which was very helpful in some ways. definitely helped me get a few of the strategies
I'm
set up
glad.
more clearly.
Yeah, makes guide, and then person who watch guide beats person who makes guide. Good logic.
That just means you're an excellent teacher.
Yeah, aww. Thank you.
You are, though. You single-handedly taught me how to TOG. I wouldn't have been able to learn the level 1.
Oh yeah, true. The training session. The dojo. Come on. Bells. I just can't believe how animated I am when I talk, which makes me really happy that there's not like any webcam in this marathon, because my hands just fly all over the place, to be honest, mid-conversation. Like, I don't know what my hands are doing, they're just doing their own thing.
It's kind of cool.
Kind of silly. Right, one more. There we go, just need to back out. Close application, open it again. That's not the end of the Praey block, because I'm actually going to showcase Echo Rush, which is going to be slightly different in some parts.
Yep.
And I'll explain that when I get to it in just a moment.
GG to you both.
Thank you.
Yeah. Would you prefer me to stay on commentary for that one?
If you wanna like stretch your legs, have a break, eat something, feel free.
Just gonna order something.
Order some pizza. What pizza?
Can't go wrong with pizza.
Pizza?
It's definitely time for pizza, yeah.
Oh, pizza time.
But you know, the disgusting kind where it's like the one with the sausage crust,
Oh,
the hot
no.
dog crust.
I thought the last time you ordered a disgusting pizza, you felt sick.
But it's worth it though. It's like one of those guilty pleasures, but the very guilty ones, you know? It feels right in the moment.
And then later you're cursing yourself.
Also, for context, like these credits here, these are all like the people who backed the Kickstarter. So like there's a lot of people who actually like supported the Kickstarter in like some way, shape or form. Aiden was one of them as well. So Aiden's name is actually like near the top. It's just a shame that his name's so tiny. Like before I even started playing the game, I went into the credits just so I could see Aiden's name.
Oh.
And then I just made the pog face when I found it. I was like, oh, that's him! Let's go!
You know, 3K, we actually have Domino's here, but I'd say Domino's is less disgusting than what I'm about to order.
Oh my god.
We do want to have one last donation.
Yeah, go for it.
We've got €5 from DBZ fan 86. Just wanted to help. Gamers always stick together no matter what. God bless Theo. May you live on in our hearts and soul.
Well, thank you so much. Also, gamers in chat, press 1. Gamers in chat. I mean, I can actually get these credits at some point. It's probably quicker if I, like, close the application, open the application, and go into my NG Plus save.